Hello everybody, I'm SnipingIsFun, and my next review of the day is going to be on this game. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles The Crystal Bearers. And I have to say, this game actually is quite fun. For those of you who don't know, the Crystal Chronicles series is the Final Fantasy series that started on the GameCube and has pretty much been on Nintendo systems ever since. They had Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube. They had, I think, 2 DS games or so. The port of the 1 DS game to the Wii. And the Crystal Chronicles Crystal Bearers. I have to say this game is quite fun, but unlike the previous games, the Crystal Chronicles series in the past have been more multiplayer games. You can play with people online or split screen, create your own characters, do quests, and everything. This one's more of a single-player experience, like, you know, the other Final Fantasy games, like the main series ones and whatnot. The main series numbered ones, I mean. Although I heard there is some multiplayer parts in this game for certain parts of the game, but I won't talk about that because that's not the main part of this game. It's mostly a single-player game. But to start the review, the gameplay, basically, it's okay. I think there's a lot of Final Fantasy games that probably have a little bit better gameplay, but this one actually has like quite some interesting gameplay. Actually, you play as Leo, who's a crystal bearer in the game, and basically you use his crystal bearer powers to use objects around the world to beat down the enemy. You can lift enemies up and throw them at each other. You can lift up random objects in the world and throw them at each other, and stuff like that, pretty much. And that's basically the main part of the gameplay, as well as little mini-game things here and there. Not mini-game, I don't mean mini-games per se, but little things you can do that happen during the story, like, and like that, at the beginning you have like a little gun sequence where you shoot the gun off. There's like racing, like surfing down the water, and just little things that you would have, like little game things that you go through when you go through the game. You can sneak on the train. When you're on this one part of the game, you're on a train. You have to sneak past the guards and everything, pretty much, and just little things like that outside the main gameplay point where you just use your crystal bear power to fight. The graphics and presentation of the game actually is, you know, quite interesting. You know, probably close to one of the best games on the Wii, probably. Maybe not the best, but close. It's pretty good. It's pretty good style, like graphics to the game, and the presentation of it, and like that style that you would normally see in a Final Fantasy game. A normal Final Fantasy game fused with the Crystal Chronicles series, mostly Crystal Chronicles though, it's kind of like there, and the presentation of the game is actually quite interesting. It's a good style to it, in my opinion. The sound of the game, a lot of the music in the game is actually quite good. Like the background music in the game is actually quite interesting. The voiceovers, some are good, some are okay, and some are kind of bad, but it's a mixed batch or so, you would say. But it has some interesting voice actors, and some of them are pretty good. Some of them not so much, but some of them are pretty good. And the music in the background, not all of it's that good, but most of it seems pretty interesting, actually. And the story, basically you play as a crystal bear named Leo, I'm just going to start off a little bit of the story. You basically start off on this one ship. You're helping the airship get to the town, to the city. And your friend Keith, I think his name's Keith or Tice, I think. That's how you pronounce his name, I think. You and him are helping board the ship, and then you get attacked by all these like dragons or so. And then you find like this Yuki, or I forgot how you pronounce the tribe group. And you learn about all these crystals, and you meet this photographer lady named Belle, and you get chased by the guards. You both are like people. You're both getting chased by like the soldiers. You're both like wanted on like wanted posters, and you're like, and she doesn't want your help or anything, but you go along and help her. You want her help, and you want her with and all that stuff. I don't know the exact story. You're basically running from the law, and she doesn't really like you much. And basically, the story goes from there, and you're trying to learn about the crystals and all, like the history of the tribes and the crystals and everything. and basically you meet up with the youth you meet at the beginning is called Goldenrod. I don't know technically if it's supposed to be a man or a woman, but the voice is a lady's voice, though. I don't really know because that tribe doesn't really have any features that generate between a man and woman or something. But you're chasing after this person to try to find out more about the crystals, and Goldenrod's trying to capture the crystals to do something. I'm sorry if I can't give you a big enough glimpse of the game, actually, but that's basically the whole idea of it. I've only got about 3 to 4 hours into the game, and I'm only still pretty much at the beginning. And basically the whole story is about you trying to find out more about the crystals, and you're kind of wanted because the crystal bearers are kind of viewed as evil, and their powers are so, and they're not liked by people. And pretty much that's the whole idea of the story, and that's all I can really say about it. And that's just basically the first little part of it, and basically that's it, actually, I can say. So basically, in the end, it has an interesting story. I'm sorry if I can't give you, big enough glimpse on it, because I only got about 4 hours into it, about 3 hours into it. And the story is basically just about, like, Leo finding out about the crystals with the help of his friends or so. You meet up with this lady named Belle, who kind of doesn't really like you much, and she, I don't know, actually, but you kind of become partners later on, I guess. And you find out about the crystals and the goldenrod, try to stop him/her, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. And it's an interesting story for a Final Fantasy game, that's all I can say. The story's been kind of addicting to me. The gameplay, the gameplay's pretty good. I mean, it's not the best game I've seen in a Final Fantasy game, but it is pretty good. And, has decent music. The voiceovers are okay, but the music is pretty good, actually. It's pretty decent. The voiceovers are okay. Some are pretty good, some are okay. So in the end, I give the gameplay an 8 out of 10, the graphics and presentation game a 9.5 out of 10, the sound of the game an 8.5 out of 10, and the story of the game a 9 out of 10. So in the end, I give Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles The Crystal Bearers on the Nintendo Wii, this game right here, an 8.75 out of 10. And whoever is out there that is I recommend it to anyone out there that's a Final Fantasy fan. If any Final Fantasy game, especially if you like the Crystal Chronicles series. I mean, it's not the same type of game. It's more of a single player based game like the numbered series, but it's still a pretty fun game. And if you like Final Fantasy anything, you probably would like this game. It has an interesting story, keep you in there. If you never play a Final Fantasy game at all, I don't know if I would recommend this game to you or not, but it would be up to you, actually, if you would want to play this game, or if you want to try another Final Fantasy game or whatever. And basically, that's all my review of today. Hope you guys like this review, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.
All-day kindergarten to 18 classes and college scholarships, Coopendale Community Schools does more than prepare students to face the real world. It inspires them to succeed. Make Coopendale Community Schools your school. Visit us.